Welcome to all our ornamental fisheries viewers. Thanks for joining us for this another video. Now today we'll be dealing with breeding the gouramis, that's the golden gouramis. So we'll be doing and showing you a simple setup that we use whenever we're breeding our golden gouramis. Now these golden gouramis are bubble nesters, so they will make that bubble nest at the top of the water. So we'll be showing you a simple setup that we use to breed our gouramis. Now one of the things that we always do is that we harvest a lot of rainwater to use in our breeding setup. Now I've had a lot of success with this rainwater when it comes on to breeding gouramis, angels and fighters. So therefore we are going to be doing some rainwater harvesting. Want to know more? Stay tuned. Welcome back to all our ornamental fisheries viewers. Now, if you're new to this channel, please remember to subscribe. Now we're doing a quick selection of the gourami fishes that we'll be using for our breeding setup. Now here we have a male and a female, that's our golden gouramis, but we have a blue as well, but we won't be needing that blue. So we'll be removing that blue and placing it back inside the vat. So we'll be just using two. That's the golden gourami. One male, one female. Now how you know your male different from your female is via their dorsal fins. Now the male dorsal fin is long and pointed while the female is short and rounded. So that's how you would tell your male different from your females in your golden gouramis. Now therefore we also did a special process of preparing our fishes for breeding also too, where we fed them a lot of live food. This is some of the live food that we use, which is Daphnia, to prepare our gouramis for breeding. Now for the setup we'll be also needing some plants as well. Now the plants in the aquarium or your breeding setup, your vat, your tank, whatever you're using, it will provide a sense of security and filtration, and also it is used to attach the bubbleness to. So therefore the gourami would find it easier to blow those bubbles that would actually be attached to the floating plants. So therefore you will be needing a lot of plants in your setup. Also it provides an area of protection for the female after the breeding process. Now this is what I usually do. I usually separate the male from the female, so I would place the female in a smaller aquarium inside the larger aquarium, and I'll allow the male to actually start to build the bubbleness. So if you look carefully, you will see where the male actually started to build the bubbleness. One of the reasons I do this is that I find out that some of the times initially the males actually tend to get a little bit aggressive with the females. So I allow that period of socialization that would protect the female. Now when he actually starts building the bubbleness, a day or two after, I would release the female into the larger area and then remove that smaller aquarium. So now that the male has actually started to build the bubbleness, I will be placing the female inside the larger breeding area. So now I'll be removing the female from the smaller aquarium and placing her in the larger setup where the male is. Now I'll gently remove the smaller aquarium from the larger setup to cause less agitation to the water surface, because I don't want to break up that bubbleness too much. But if you realize that the female, after I've released her, that immediately she actually starts to swim around and start to go around where the nest is being built. Now, if you look carefully, you'll see her just moving around to where the nest is, where she and the male would actually start to socialize a bit more and going into the process of getting to know you. So therefore they would actually start the breeding process. Now this is a nest that is actually established, and if you realize the plants around it that anchors the nest, it also has the eggs in. And what I've done, I've removed the female from the tank and left just the male in the tank. So as soon as the fries are hatched, I will remove the male as well, because I don't want the male to actually cannibalize the fries. So I just allow him to look after the eggs for that period of time. But as soon as they have hatched, I will remove the male as well. And if you look carefully now to your left at the corner, you will see that the eggs have been hatched and the fries are free swimming. Now with golden gourami fries, you would have to pay a lot of attention and look very closely, because they are very fine. They are very tiny fries. They are very, very small. So one of the first foods that I would feed my gourami fries a day or two afterward, after they are free swimming, is infosora. Now there's a video, if you should click the link, there's a video there that teaches you how to create and make your own infosora to feed your fries. So therefore, for the first couple of days, I'll be adding this infosora to the tank. Now this infosora is very fine, so therefore it would aid in the health, and also it would help them to find some food to eat. Now, one of the most important thing in breeding gouramis and also fighters is that the rearing tank, you would need to keep it covered. That is one of the things that I've done over the years, and I've reaped a lot of success by keeping the tank covered, because the air above the water, if it is actually too cold, as the organs that allow the gouramis to breed, the anabantoid organs, if the air above is actually colder than the water, or vice versa, when that organ begins to develop, the fry can actually be killed, and you're wondering why. Because the fry would actually come up and gulp that cold air and then go down into the warmer water, or vice versa. So one of the things you would need to do is to keep your aquariums or your vats or your breeding area covered for at least the first 3 to 4 weeks. That would aid in how much fries you will be able to successfully keep. So that's one of the things that I've always actually done with my fighters and my gouramis, and I've always had success with doing this process by keeping my area covered. Now, thanks much for joining us for this another video. I hope the information was useful and informative for you. Please remember to click the subscribe button for instant notification and more. And please remember to check out our pages on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Thanks much for your continued support. Ornamental Fish Whiz.